Bebop and Rocksteady before they become the Bebop and Rocksteady that we all know. And the guy that was playing Rocksteady, his name is Stephen Farrelly, but WWE fans would know him as Sheamus. And Sheamus is utterly terrifying. And I had to run at him, and he had to pretend to headbutt me, and I was convinced that he was going to kill me. And then, of course, with Arrow, there'll be certain things where, you know, it'll be a jump or swinging down from a tree or something, and I'm always very demonstrative and going, you're going to let me do this, no one else is going to do this, it's me, it's not a double. But I'm kind of afraid of heights. So I get up there, and I go, and then I try to look cool.
Right over here.
Hi, I'm Sabrina.
Hi, Sabrina.
So supposedly Oliver and Felicity are going to break up in the next episode, or something bad like that.
You know what? I saw you fish. You were fishing for spoilers earlier. Talking about things like they had happened, trying to get me to slip up. You won't catch me, Sabrina.
Well, is there anything you can say, maybe about like to give us hope for the next coming episode?
I will give you some hope. Okay? Obviously, at some point this year, the chickens are going to come home to roost for Oliver, and Felicity will likely find out that I have, like, a 10-year-old kid. Oliver. And I'm sure, but I will tell you that if that happens, I promise that they will handle it like adults.
Nice. Let's go right over here.
I'm Wayne, and who's in the grave?
They just don't give up. Just tell us who's in the grave. Come on. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense.
No, I can't tell you who's in the grave. I can tell you that I think it's a super interesting storytelling technique, and I don't enjoy the prevailing sense of dread that it has given both the fan base and, to be totally honest, the actors on the show, because nobody knows. When that scene was filmed at the beginning of the season, nobody knew. So that's been tough. It's been tough.
Like the reverse shot, there's nothing on the tombstone. You have no idea what's on that tombstone.
When I shot the scene, I went to the EPs and I said, do you know? And they said, even if we did, we wouldn't tell you. So I then asked them some questions and I said, okay, well, how should I react? You've got to give me a ballpark because I have to have something in my mind's eye. And they helped me with that.
Yeah.
Because we can't, you know, the scene in reverse has to make sense, right? Because it has to fit in seamlessly whenever we catch up to when that scene took place.
Okay. Right here.
Who do you think would win in a battle, you or Zoom from Flash?
Took down Reverse Flash, no problem. Someone holding still will punch him in the face. Done. I hope that answers your question.
Right here.
By the way, this causes some controversy, right? But I always get asked, you know, who would win in a fight? Green Arrow or Superman? Green Arrow or Batman? And of course, I'm always going to say Green Arrow. And I mean like always. Always, always, always. And then I caught some flack on the internet for saying that I would beat Batman in a fight. And part of it was caused by my own cousin who applauded the notion. I was like, Robbie, you're being a dick. Sorry for my language, it really pissed me off. Like, I know you like Batman, but keep your thoughts to yourself. By the way, he's on X-Files. Watch it if you want.
Hello, I'm Nehemiah Knox. I'm the guy that did those Lightsaber Saturday photoshops for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have one question about, I'm an aspiring filmmaker, so I want to know how is it like working with multiple different directors and the process that you have to go through when they film one episode one way and the next episode a different way.
It's really interesting because we have directors on the show. We had a director who directs episode 415, and his name is Gregory Smith, and he is, I think, 2 years younger than I am. And worked with Greg Berlanti, our main executive producer, all the way back to Everwood, and is an incredible director and has a real eye for it and is so organized and highly efficient, and I love working with Greg. And then, meanwhile, our director on the episode that I just finished, Michael Schultz, is in his 70s, and he has a totally different tenor and speed. We've had James Banford direct an episode this year, and he's our stunt choreographer, or, is when he is not directing. He's also directing the episode that is airing this Wednesday. And so it's nice because I'm always excited when the new director comes in, but by the time we get to the 8th day, I'm like, when are they going to get rid of this guy? And then of course I'm excited when they come back. So, and also one of the great things that happens on a show as you get into year 4 is we've had a couple of brand new directors this year that are from within our group, both James Banford and Gord Veerhall, who directed the episode that just aired. And, Gord has been the director of photography on Arrow since season 1. And when he gets to move up and direct, that means that the head of the lighting department gets to come up and be the director of photography. So it's really neat to see, guys that were dolly grips for the camera in season 1 are now operating, B camera and C camera in season 4, and that's a hyper rewarding thing. I've been working on a gift for the Arrow crew. I've been working on it since 2012, okay? On Monday, from 3 o'clock until 5 o'clock, the Stanley Cup is coming to set. You guys remember the Stars won the Cup, right? The Stanley Cup. It's mainly me taking a dig because they're all Canucks fans. And they're all really excited. They're like, is the Cup coming? Is the Cup coming? And I go, yeah, how else is it going to come to Vancouver? So it's a double-edged sword for them, but they'll be happy ultimately.
What a guy. Right here.
Hi, my name is Ian. What is
Ian.
your favorite Pokemon?
Yeah, you better get this right.
I don't know.
It's got to be Charizard, right?
Is it Charizard? Can I tell a, since that was a question aimed at younger people that I wasn't able to answer, can I tell a fun story about my daughter? Yeah. So my daughter just learned to climb out of her crib, right? Which is, it's always great in the middle of the night to hear. So anyway, she learns to climb out of her crib. We put her back in her crib. The following morning, we say, Maddie, you cannot climb out of your crib. We're going to get you a big girl bed, but it's dangerous. You need to stay in your bed. Do you understand? Do you understand that it's dangerous? Yes. You going to do it again? No. Okay. Now, daughter's just about to be 2.5. Maddie, why did you climb out of your crib? And I swear to God, she goes, it's my life.
Right here.
Hi, Steven.
Hi.
Please, first, say hi to my Olicity friends.
Hi. Oh, you asked me to do this last year, didn't you?
Yes,
Hello,
every year.
Olicity friends.
We are close to the 44,000.
Good for you guys.
Yeah, and my question is, could you please share some funny history with Emily filming a Olicity scene?
Working with Emily and being serious, one of the really nice things is that having shot so much content with her, I never get bored of it, and scenes are always super interesting. They never are what they appear to be on the page when you first read the script. And but as for a funny one, we have this running joke right now where right before a take, I'll just take my hand and I'll just go like that, which makes no sense at all until you work 14 hours a day with someone, and then it becomes incredibly funny. So just know that before any intimate moment, I have like draped my hands across her face like a spider. When there were two Felicities, when there was Felicity hallucinating, I thought that, I mean, the way that they did that, just in terms of technically, what I thought was very, very interesting. But we actually got a great actor who has since been on Legends to come in and play either regular Felicity or hallucination Felicity, and it was just like, it was fascinating. It was a really, really interesting scene to do when I'm arguing and she's yelling and Felicity goes, "Shut up!" That was a blast to film.
Right here.
Out of all the annoying things Robbie has done, which has been the most frustrating?
I think we talked about it already. No, Robbie's not. I'll tell you, Robbie, he has a project coming up that we're going to be talking about more soon, and I think we're going to see some footage from within about a month or two. And that guy is always working. Always working. Like, he's on The Flash. He's on X-Files. He's in Toronto right now. He's filming a movie. And I'm always behind him. Like, wait, what are you doing? And he's not annoying. He's just, you know, a little shorter than I am.
Right here.
How you doing? I was actually wondering, I'm pretty sure sharing this experience with Robbie has had its ups and downs with you.
No,
But,
not at all.
well, I was wondering, when you guys first started doing this, did you guys expect either Flash or Arrow to blow up as big as they did?
No, I mean, of course not. You know, we were going to, we didn't really become super close until I moved to Los Angeles in 2010. Because, you know, I am 7 years older than he is, and that's an interesting gap to have when you're 20 and he's 13. It becomes more palatable when, you know, I'm 29 and he's 22. No, we've had a blast, you know, and he is a guy that, especially when I moved to Los Angeles, that I really looked up to, because he had a way about him and he had a calmness about him, and there was an efficiency to his work and the way that he approached acting that I did not possess. I was incredibly analytical. I would totally outthink myself. I would get right into my own head, and he'd just go, "See job, book job." And I'd like to think that maybe there's a few things that he's learned from me, but I certainly learned that from him.
Hi, Stephen. I'm Alexis.
Hi.
So I was wondering, we recently got to hear Felicity's codename for the first time.
Yeah.
And when you were filming that scene where like, you first say it, and then you say, I was going to go with Oracle, but that was already taken. Was that an ad-lib line, or was it actually in the script?
That was in the script. That was in the script. Yeah. Can I make a confession? I had no idea what it meant. I had no idea what it meant. And then the internet goes, like that. So I thought it was cool. But no, that was written. There have been a fair number of ad-libs this year, and I never tried to steal away the script or to sort of bogart a scene, as the case may be. I always try to make sure that if they wanted to leave the ad-lib on the cutting room floor, it could be, so it's not right in the middle of something. It tends to be at the end. But they've kept a lot of them. And I will say that I was very, very grateful. There's a scene at the end of episode 15, and I was incredibly appreciative of the way that it was shot and cut. We tend to have a lot of cuts on our show, and sometimes things don't necessarily get the room to breathe because so much is packed in to 41 and a half minutes. But this particular scene is, it's like 3.5, 4 minutes long. And aside from cutaways to certain montage things, the camera never cuts off me. It's really cool. Yeah.
Right.
Hi. I was wondering.
I'm delivering a eulogy. I'm not, I promise.
So there's Felicity and there's Thea. They're both dying. You can only save one of them. Which one would you save?
Oh, you're gonna. You're gonna son me right now? No way I'm answering that question. You understand that I have to work with both of them on Monday morning, don't you? Why does my voice go up like 4 octaves when I get uncomfortable? That's what I want to know. He would find a third option. I'd cut off Malcolm's other hand.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Double Vader then. Right over here.
Hi, I'm Ariel, like the Little Mermaid, and I just wanted to ask you if there was anything you could tell us about your appearance on Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah. The makeup took 3.5 hours. I have never been more uncomfortable because any time that I moved my face, it was like an exposed nerve. And after about 4 hours, I was really afraid that I was going to tear it off. And we get it. We get the classic goatee. That's cool. And we get a possible view into Oliver's future and the state of Star City. And we get a familiar nemesis. Not in the sense that we've seen him before, but in a familial sense.
Make a bet that you will. Right here.
Hi, I'm a big Turtle fan, so I'm just wondering if we're going to get the witty partay between Raphael and John Casey that we got in the first movie.
Yeah, they hate each other. Raph and Casey do not get along in this second Turtles movie, and that was really fun, especially because Alan Richardson, who plays him, is like a big, imposing, intimidating guy, and he and I worked together on Blue Mountain State once upon a time. So we had it was nice. You should check out that movie, by the way. Those guys did a really good job. They crowdsourced the movie, they made it. I haven't seen it, my buddy Zach saw it, said it's really good. So it was nice that stuff and that antagonistic element between Raph and Casey, which is commonplace in the comic books and of course from the earlier movies, it was nice that I was able to have that with Alan because we had this built-in chemistry. I hope.
Hi, my name is Grant, and since you helped Barry fight Fear vs. Flash, will you help Barry fight Zoom?
All Barry's got to do is pick up the phone. Or speed in and speed out and come get me. I'm always game for a fight. Yeah, for sure. I would help Barry. Always. Good guy, that Barry Allen. A little cheery for me, but good guy. I'm actually very excited. I'm a little bit behind on the Flash, but I of all the stuff that I've read and everything, them going to Earth 2 and everything, it's just been awesome.
Incredible.
Super good?
Absolutely incredible. Yeah. It's just so damn good. Alright, you're my man.
That's how you really feel.
It's not as good as Arrow, but it's good.
That's not what I was saying.
Hi, my name is Angel. I wanted to ask if you and Emily ever got the MTV Ship Movie Year Award, and if you ever do that video you promised.
I know that the video has been promised. We have the coax. We have an idea. One thing that I will tell you, and this is not an excuse for not doing it earlier in the year, Emily and I have not been working together that much recently.
What does that mean?
Make of this what you will. Where's Sabrina asking? She's going to stand up again and ask for another spoiler.
Right over here.
No.
My name is Eric. Today's my 23rd birthday.
Happy birthday, man. I'm going to give you a tip. As you get older, you should start calling your birthdays based off of famous athletes. So you just turned Michael Jordan.
So I'm Michael Jordan here right here.
Appreciate it. This could be your greatest.
I got it. My question is, do you think fellow stars every birthday privilege on stage and not film?
No. John sometimes calls me Oliver every once in a while, but he immediately corrects himself. But no. We more have nicknames, but certainly not our stage names. Tickle every time. I just.
That was not on purpose, by the way. I swear to God. I'm not talented enough for that to be on purpose. No, but every time that I see David first thing, like whenever I see him first thing in the morning, he only calls me this once a day. But the first time I see him, he'll go, Amell.
Right here.
So this could technically be spoilery, but they did say that on Earth 2, Oliver is dead and Robert is the Arrow.
Yeah.
But if you, well, maybe on a different Earth, could play Oliver, what would you want him to be like?
Agreeable.
Just totally different. So actually, you know what would be interesting within the dynamics of Earth 1, Earth 2, Earth 3, Earth 4, Earth -1? How's it going? It would be really interesting if he was just exactly the same. Like everyone else is totally different. He's just all curmudgeony and like. Can't even picture two Olivers who are just both equally like dour and pissed off and yelling at each other. Yeah, it would be interesting to play Oliver Queen as a different version, actually. So I'd leave that in the hands of the writers.
Louder.
Why do you think the people of Arrow want you to take your shirt off so much?
When you're a little older, you'll understand.
Oh my God.
If I didn't have 90 minutes of makeup and prosthetics to apply, and they have to paint in the abs and stuff like that, I'm kidding. Then I would be shirtless way more often. If it was just a matter of like pulling my shirt off and being shirtless, I'd be shirtless all the time. Great motivation, because it's absolutely terrifying. But yeah, it takes so long. I don't know, it's kind of become a staple of the show. And again, Oliver's scars and, you know, his physique are kind of a roadmap for where he's been. So it's an important part of the character.
He's not thinking.
He said I'm not.
Hello. Hi. I want to say, first of all, it's good to meet you and talk to you earlier.
Thank you.
I appreciate everything you do. And I just want to say for Colton Haynes, I'm a big fan of his. I'm thankful that he came out. I'm a big fan of his. So I appreciate the show, and I love you. I love him. I'm so glad to be here. I'm from Houston, Texas. So good to see you.
Thank you.
Huh? I hate when you do that. You can't tell them that you're signing, not your grade. Yeah, that guy behind me.
Oh. Hi, I'm Samia. Nice to meet you. So what was your favorite scene in filming in last season of Arrow?